Let there be love in your heart tonight. Sweet peace, try love, hold on to hope. Let there be peace all around.
NTA International News.
People-oriented projects are bedrocks of transformation agenda in Nigeria, says President Jonathan. Speaker, House of Representatives Aminu Tambuwal defects to All Progressives Congress, APC. Non-governmental organization collaborates with Nigerian Customs Service to mitigate the plight of the less privileged. Plus, United Nations to spend $8 billion to alleviate poverty in Africa. Hello, it's my pleasure to welcome you to NTA International News this hour. I'm Nancy Godianganihu. We kick off with development efforts in parts of Nigeria. President Goodluck Jonathan has stressed the need for continuity in the completion of ongoing projects by those in leadership, as government is a continuous process. The president stated this while commissioning the new multi-billion naira Kaduna Government House complex. He also held a meeting with traditional rulers on peace. Abdullahi Garba Kudu reports.
To the glory of God, for our youth to develop our people.
The new Kaduna Government House complex is constructed within the historic Sir Kashim Ibrahim House. The project was initiated by the Vice President Muhammad Namadi Sambu in 2008 as the then governor of the state, for the state to have a befitting government house of his status at the capital of the Old North region. The project, with governor's office, a council chambers, among other facilities, was executed at a cost of over 9.6 billion naira. President Goodluck Jonathan commended the vice president for the initiative and Governor Yero for completing the project, which he says should be emulated as government is a continuous process. He used the event to restate government commitment to the actualization of the government transformation agenda, especially in power supply and agricultural development.
As a nation, we are largely agrarian people, and Kaduna State contributes significantly to our food security. In this direction, our focus on the agriculture and water resources has seen us completing the Galma Dam at Kozutu that, of course, the governor did mention, as well as the Gurara Dam. It is pertinent to know that these major multipurpose dams have great capacity for power generation as well as irrigation, so that our farmers will have water throughout the year.
Governor Mukhtar Ramalan Yero says Kaduna State government is committed about completion of several developmental projects, and the new government house is one out of many.
I am pleased to announce that while the new governor's office has been completed, the other projects are at various stages of completion. The 150 million liters area water project is at 88% completion, and the 300-bed specialty hospital is about 67% completion. These achievements have only been possible through our adherence to ideology of continuity in government policies and projects.
A new government house council chambers was the venue of the meeting between the president and the Kaduna State Council of Chiefs, led by the Emir of Zazzau, Alhaji Shehu Idris, where issues of security and peace promotion took center stage.
I did not know how I became a Bayelsan. It's God that dropped me in the swamps of the Niger Delta. I could have been born in Kaduna State, I could have been born in Sokoto State, I could have been born in Katsina State, but I found myself there. And I grew up in an environment where there was a church, and I automatically became a Christian. So we think that the God we worship, luckily both Bible and Quran appreciate separate the pagans from those who worship God, and both religions worship God.
Your Excellency, I want to use this good opportunity to make a passionate appeal to you on behalf of all the traditional rulers of Nigeria to include the Nigerian, in the Nigerian Constitution, a clear role or function for traditional rulers in the 3 tiers of government in Nigeria.
Abdullahi Garba Bruno Kudu, NTA News.
And latest reports on the political scene say Speaker House of Representatives Aminu Waziri Tambuwal has defected to the All Progressives Congress APC. He made this announcement on the floor of the House at Tuesday's plenary. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Okafor has details of the proceedings.
Members of the House of Representatives at Tuesday's plenary were taken unawares when the Speaker, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, formally notified them of his membership of the All Progressive Congress, APC.
Honorable colleagues, before I hit the gavel, may I say this to all of you, that pursuant to extant provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and having regards to the development in my home state, Sokoto, you are making in the pursuit of the overall national interest and development of constitutional democracy.
Meanwhile, members of the All Progressive Congress in the House of Representatives welcomed the Speaker into their fold.
I don't think that the House of Representatives, as presently constituted, has any reason to be afraid that there will be any counter move. The House is a united House under Tambuwal. It's a Nigerian House committed to delivering on the dividends of democracy to the Nigerian people.
In their reactions, some principal officers of the House from the People's Democratic Party have described the action as sad and disappointing, stating that they await a statement from their party.
The provision of Section 50 sub B of the Constitution stipulates very clearly that the Speaker shall emerge, the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker shall emerge from members of the House. What we need to do now is to re-strategize and see how we can defend the interests of our party collectively.
This is an issue that the party will, decide at the appropriate time.
Meanwhile, a bill which seeks to provide for the prohibition, prevention, detection, response and prosecution of cybercrimes has passed third reading. The House received a new member from Benue State. A motion by Representative Olajumoke Okoya Thomas of Lagos State to immortalize late Dr. Stella Adadevo and compensate the families of health workers who died treating patients with Ebola virus disease was adopted. The House adjourned to December 3rd, 2014. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
In another development, the Northern Youth Movement for Positive Change has promised to mobilize 15 million registered youths to vote for President Jonathan in the 2015 elections. Coordinator of the group, Abubakar Jauro, stated this in Abuja at a press briefing. He said they are satisfied with President Jonathan's developmental projects in the country, especially in the north. Comrade Jauro urged states and local governments to identify and channel resources into development projects to complement federal government's efforts, especially in integrating the still existing Sangaya schools and the villages into modern Almajiri schools. The group also commended the federal government for containing the Ebola virus outbreak and urged the government not to relent in conducting surveillance at ports and borders through screening of people coming into the country. The group also, More on political declarations. Kano State Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso has formally declared his intention to contest for the presidency of the country on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC. He made the declaration today, Tuesday, the 28th October, at a rally in Abuja. Details will come to you in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, former Information Minister Labaran Maku says he will lay the foundation for the transformation and modernization of Nasarawa State for peace and development when elected governor in 2015. Correspondent Anthony Forsen reports that Labran Mako was speaking at the PDP office in Lafia when a coalition of youth groups presented him with the PDP nomination form. The report.
The coalition of the youth groups under the umbrella of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Nasarawa State Chapter, had purchased the governorship form for Labaran Mako at the party's headquarters in Abuja. While expressing gratitude for the honor done him, he said the party remains the only hope for the restoration of peace and tranquility in the state.
They have already taken position to end the party of violence in our state. No minister has achieved the things that I have brought to Nasarawa State as Minister of Labor and Economic. I have come here to formally notify you, having gotten a consent of Mr. President to recall your service, I hereby notify you that I am in the race for the government.
The former minister expressed gratitude to President Goodluck Jonathan for the honor and opportunity given him to serve at one of the nation's highest decision-making body in the country. Anthony Forsen, NTA News.
First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan has debunked a newspaper report alleging that she requested PDP leaders in Oyo State to accommodate a former governor of the state, Chief Rashidi Ladoja, who is an Accord Party chairman in the PDP, so as to realize his governorship ambition. In a statement, the First Lady described the report as yet another attempt by mischief makers to loop their self-induced political travails around her office, saying she is neither an elected official of the state nor a party functionary to make such a request. Dame Patience Jonathan said her visit to Ibadan was for the sole purpose of commissioning the Oyo State office of her NGO, the Women for Change and Development Initiative, and to distribute empowerment materials to the women of the state. The First Lady therefore cautioned politicians against falsehood and deliberate association of her office and name with political issues in order to score cheap political gains. She said, as the mother of the nation and president of the African First Ladies Peace Mission, her role still remains that of advocacy for peace and development, which she will continue to champion, particularly as the 2015 general elections draw nearer. A look at gender empowerment. An advocacy technical workshop which seeks to enhance women participation in 2015 elections and beyond has been held in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. The workshop, organized by the 100 women lobby groups under the auspices of the Change Managers International Network, had as its theme repositioning Nigerian women for political participation. ADIO has details.
A solidarity anthem in support of women advancement sets the tone for the event. Panelists acknowledged that Nigeria has complied with the 35% affirmative requirement by giving key appointed positions to women. They, however, identified the need for women to come out and fully participate in partisan politics. In this way, the panelists said, the old assumptions of a patriarchal Nigeria can be destroyed.
Of the role of women in the public sphere has affected Nigerian women's participation in politics.
Listening to the life of our nation, women are given the opportunity to prove their mettle by leveling hands with the men while consolidating the achievements of the women in the past.
Papers delivered dealt with lobbying in politics as well as electoral violence, especially the sort targeted against women.
Women, when they come out to politics, they are labeled harlot. Their husbands are labeled woman rapper. They are called all sorts of terrible names. So much slander is, directed their way, all to try and keep them out of politics.
And lobbying is particularly critical in politics. Politics is all about negotiating interests, and there are always competing interests. You need to persuade the other side to see, the world from your perspective. You need to gain allies for a particular cause.
The organizers explained that the need to bridge the gap in women's participation in politics was the driving motive behind the establishment of the 100 Women Lobby Group. They further explained that the advocacy is expected to empower women to enable them get it right in the 2015 elections and beyond.
More knowledge should be given to women on how to vote. More knowledge should be given to the citizens on how to make their choices.
Participants include professionals in academia, development partners, and captains of industry. Ede Arago, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. A recap of our major stories. President Goodluck Jonathan has said that people-oriented projects are the bedrocks of present administration's transformation agenda in Nigeria. You also heard that Speaker House of Representatives Aminu Tambuwal has defected to All Progressives Congress as Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso declares intention to contest for presidency in 2015 election. And still to come, United Nations to spend $8 billion to alleviate poverty in Africa. Details in a moment.
The Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Affairs announces the holding of a public affairs forum with the theme, Jonathan Transformation, 4 Impactful Years. The forum is an interactive session between top government functionaries and the public on the milestone recorded by President Goodluck Jonathan's transformation agenda in the last 4 years. The Public Affairs Forum will feature ministers of finance, education, aviation, agriculture, works, transport, health, power, trade and investment, and water resources. Date, Thursday 30th and Friday 31st October 2014, and Monday 3rd and Tuesday 4th November 2014. Time, 12 to 2 p.m. daily. Venue, Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Signed, Dr. Doyin Okukbe, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Affairs.
Shopee has ensured the reconstruction of the Abuja-Lokoja Road and the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
The standard gauge rail tracks from Abuja to Kaduna and Lagos to Kano indicates that our trains are coming back.
The second Niger Bridge in the southeast and the local Oweto Bridge in the north-central are in progress, thanks to Shopee.
Shopee's mass transit program has made transportation easier for Nigerians.
Shopee rehabilitated over 1,000 health centers across Nigeria.
Shopee has provided mama kits to pregnant women, and polio is on the verge of eradication.
Shopee has also ensured the provision of social amenities, and through its various training programs for young people, guarantees a better future.
Shopee, delivering service with integrity.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Thank you for remaining with us. The Body Enhancement Foundation is collaborating with the Nigerian Customs Service to strategize on how to mitigate the plight of the less privileged in society. Correspondent Obiageli Ugwoke reports.
Mohammed and Adiola Soloka are few out of many who are living with congenital deformities. To them, accessibility to proper medical care is a critical factor that contributed to their deformities. With such people in mind, Body Enhancement Foundation is collaborating with the Nigerian Customs Service, Ministry of Women Affairs, and other governmental organizations to bring hope and healing to Africa's less privileged, regardless of age, race, religion, and gender.
If we're saying we're really helping people, we need to look at the bigger picture, which is just not providing life-changing to make their bodies be able to function properly.
Apart from offering reconstructive surgeries to people suffering from various deformities, the organization provides food, drugs, and educational facilities to people in the rural areas of Nigeria.
And the Comptroller General of Customs has approved a full-scale partnership between
the Service and Body Enhancement Foundation. This is because the CGC himself has been involved in personal acts of charity.
We have entered into partnership with this organization to use our structures to reach the poorest of the common that we have in the society.
The organization appealed to all Nigerians to support it in its effort to alleviate the plight of the less privileged. In Abuja, Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
Members of Independent Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, have promised to support the present administration's transformation agenda towards making life more meaningful for Nigerians. The president, Chinedu Okoronkwọ, said this at the inauguration of the Northwest Zonal Leaders of the Association in Abuja. Correspondent Basse Taimma reports that some breakaway members were also received back to the association.
The new executive of the Northwest Zone of IPMAN has Lawan Danzaki as chairman, Salisu Ibrahim secretary, Bashir Bello treasurer, while Aisha Ada Audu is the women leader. The national president, Chinedu Okoronkwọ, advised the officers to work together for the growth of the association. He enumerated his achievements since he assumed office to include the ongoing building of 2 refineries in Kogi and Bayelsa states. This, Mr. Okoronkwọ observed, will augment the federal government's efforts in the supply and distribution of petroleum products nationwide.
We believe we go a long way in changing the landscape of oil and gas business in this country. And I believe it will sustain the transformation agenda of this president we have keyed in already.
While pledging their support to President Goodluck Jonathan, some members appealed for the passage of Petroleum Industry Bill before the National Assembly.
In association business, there is nothing like unity. And with what is happening here today, I believe that IPMAN has become one indivisible element in this country.
Women of Nigeria, we are thanking our president, Eda Chinedu, who has given us the opportunity to participate in IPMAN.
We have witnessed a change in IPMAN leadership. And I want to assure all the members of IPMAN that IPMAN is one now. Today, a marketer is not complaining on he has paid a product for NNPC and he has stayed 2 months, 3 months without picking that product or 1 year. So it's an achievement with his own regime.
The retained members said having realized their mistakes, they have come back to work with the duly elected IPMAN national president in order to take the organization to greater heights. The national president also received an award for outstanding performance from Nigerians in diaspora.
United Nations Chief Ban Ki-moon announces $8 billion to reduce poverty in 8 African countries. Plus, Naira weakens marginally against the US dollar. Details with Chazala Mekie on Business News.
United Nations Chief Ban Ki-moon has announced a new $8 billion development initiative to reduce poverty and boost business activities in 8 African countries. The countries include South Sudan, Sudan, Somalia, Kenya, Uganda, and Ethiopia. Ban Ki-moon says the UN was leading the international delegation to ensure a coherent and coordinated approach towards peace, security, and development in the Horn of Africa. Meanwhile, in the interbank markets, the renewed demand for foreign currencies in Nigeria pushed the local currency, the Naira, to drop marginally in value by 0.15% against the dollar on the interbank markets. The Naira closed at 165 Naira to the dollar, despite the $112 million sold by French oil giant Total. Some dealers blame the pressure on the local currency on increased dollar demand by importers who are stocking up for the year-end sales, and also because of the decline in global oil prices. Chiazalam Ekie, NTA News.
In our sports package, Sports Minister holds talks with warring parties in the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF. Ronaldo and Messi lead 23-man Ballon d'Or shortlist. Plus, Nigerian basketball receives a boost with an upgrade in standard of National League Division II Championship. Let's join Fisayo Gunfuyi for details of these and more.
Sports Minister and Chairman National Sports Commission Tamid Anagogo has met with the two factions battling for the soul of Nigerian football. The minister, who spoke to pressmen after holding talks with the Chris Giwa and Amaju Pinnick factions, said he expects an amicable resolution after the consultations, as Nigeria is bigger than personal ambitions.
I believe both sides have said they will try and go and talk to their people. That's what they're going to do now. After which both of them will come to me privately, talk to me what they feel, and then by tomorrow we'll meet.
Real Madrid's Cristiano Ronaldo, the current holder of the Ballon d'Or award, and four-time winner Barcelona's Lionel Messi are among FIFA's 23-man shortlist for this year's honor. Manchester City's Yaya Toure is the only African in the 23-man shortlist. A national men's basketball Division II championship began on Monday at the Package B section of the Abuja National Stadium, with 6 teams competing for the sole slot to progress into the Division I of the National Basketball League. President of Nigeria's Olympics Committee, Sani Ndanusa, and NBBF President advised the players to play by the rules, as more platforms will be provided for them to excel.
We are realizing our dream of strengthening the structure of basketball.
I know one or two of you will be promoted to the Division I. You have to fight very hard.
The NBBF says it is using such platforms to upgrade the standard of the game across the country. With Sports News Update, Fisayo Gunfuyi, NTA News.
Up next is Wednesday's weather outlook in major cities across Nigeria and the world. And with the weather updates, we round off the news. Thank you for watching.